Hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Hello, Guillaume. Nice to see you as always. And hello to everybody else. Today, well, first of all, I'm Rachel Archelaus, founder of the Intuitive Art Academy. This is Carrie Roldan, your business BFF, and she coaches inside of our company. She's like the great seer of you and your genius, and she loves reflecting things back to you. So if you ever have an opportunity to be in our coaching group, you're gonna love it. So hello everyone, how are you? How are you, Carrie?
I'll say how I am. You've never introduced me that way as the great seer of you. I kind of like that. I'm writing that down. I'm the seer. Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for asking. I'm feeling especially seen by the way you introduced me. I am feeling in the midst of another up level, which I know you guys know we're all up leveling all the time. Well, I guess we're choosing, right? If we're gonna, Rachel and I are always choosing to up level. Um, but yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling comfortable in the not knowing everything. I'm feeling relaxed around things that I can remember would maybe have had me stressing out a year or two ago. I'm feeling very relaxed in my circumstances, and even joyful in things that, like, again, a few years ago, I wouldn't have been able to find any joy in those things. So I don't know if that's too vague, but that's where I am right now. You guys, I was just telling Rachel, I haven't been sleeping very well or very much recently, and I'm not actually sure of the why of that. I'm not super concerned about the why of that either. I know that this too shall pass, but I am impressed with myself and how I'm functioning on very little sleep. So that's where I am. How are you, Rachel?
Well, I'm excited, and I know Carrie wanted me to mention this, but first of all, we're here today to discuss how to succeed in a creative business. How to succeed in a creative business. So if you want to create a business, or if you are in a creative business, definitely stick around. But what I'm excited about is actually part of this. So I'm looking at properties right now in Connecticut, and we weren't sure if we were going to move, just buy a second house. But then I had this resurrection of a dream I've had since I was a little kid, which is to own lots of property and basically a farm, not necessarily to be a farmer, but to use the property to have events and, to grow lots and lots and lots of things, whether I donate them or use them in some way. Obviously, we'll eat them myself, but like, always wanted that, always had that dream. And have looked for land on my own, but I've never really seriously, with the money to do it, looked for a farm. But I am right now, and there are so many in Connecticut. And just knowing that I could have that kind of property without buildings and like guest houses and like ponds, and I mean, literally, I went from thinking like, okay, I'm kind of excited. We're going to buy a second house. It's going to be kind of nice. We can rent it out. I can decorate it, to like, oh my God, my whole lifelong dream can come true and I can still do all those other things. Like, it's one of those like hell yeses where I just had a regular yes before. So, um, telling you this because I'm excited, but also, where is that for you? A lot of people have businesses that are just a yes, but this is your time to create a business that is a hell yes, where you love showing up. You are the creator of it, literally. So you get to design it in a way that really lights you up, and that will improve your success rate. It won't take away from it. Um, I'll just start here. I've been watching this show called Project Bakeover. It is so good. It is on Hulu. And it is where this like experienced master baker guy goes into struggling bakeries and helps them succeed. And I can't tell you how many times one of those struggling bakery owners has said, well, I'm just making everything everybody wants and I can't do it. It's too expensive. It takes too much time. And so what happens a lot of times in these creative businesses is we think we need to do everything everybody asks for and says. And so we're spreading ourselves so thin. We have no focus or connection to why we even started it, really. We just become task workers for all these other people that we lose our love and we lose our drive and we lose money and we lose enthusiasm and all the things that help us to keep going. So anyway, I just have noticed that. It's on my list. I made notes for today, but yeah, don't do that. You don't have to give up what you want. Everything you want is available in one place.
Well, and that is so what I love about the story that you told about the farm is this is the story that so many of us live about whatever creative business that wants to live inside of us. Or maybe we don't even see it. You don't even want a business. You don't even want to call it a business. You just want to be creative and have money show up. That's a good way to live. And I'll just pause and tell you that you guys, I had so much a resistance to business, like to the word business early on in what I did. So if that, yeah, okay. Because it sort of comes with this idea, at least in my brain, about like a suit and a tie and a briefcase. And I didn't want to live that way. So already I had resistance to it. So when you were talking about how to succeed in a creative business, I was like, but all businesses are creative. Like if you're going to create a business, it's creative. Like, so let's just own that, people. But what I wanted to say to you, Rachel, is that story of the farm. I mean, how common is it? It's so common that we have this like childhood dream and then a moment of like, okay, well, how do I make that happen for me? And immediately we diminish the dream, right? We take this like a thing, what we really wanted, and we try and distill it down to what we think we can have. And so like, I've been watching Rachel do this for years. Like how many years ago you were like looking for places to own land or to homestead in Tennessee, or did it like you were like dancing around it. And it's just really neat to recognize like, oh, if I lean in. So where I want to give you a high five and props is you sort of came back to the possibility without knowing you were coming back to the possibility. Your life gave you a reason to look for a house in Connecticut. And then that became a different reason to look for a house in Connecticut. And then it became then it was like, oh my God, a farm in Connecticut. And then I got a farm with like, but I want to give you props, right? For listening in the first place when your life was leading you down the path of least resistance, right? You didn't fight I think I need to look for a house in Connecticut. And that led you to maybe, I'm excited to see where the journey goes. Like, what is the even bigger, better version of it? Like, I'm excited to see where it goes. But I think it's a good analogy for all of us and our businesses. I'm betting these bakers started being like, I just want to make the most amazing cupcakes possible, or I only want to make the best banana cream pies. And then somebody said, oh, you could do this, or you should do this, or people will pay a lot for that. And before they knew it, they were settling for a business and a vision that they didn't love.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's on your list?
Man, I got a lot on my list. First of all, pricing. You got to price your stuff so that you'll make a profit. And even if you don't like the word business, you still need to feed yourself. You still need to pay your taxes. You still need some retirement funds, right? Like, so I don't know if she's watching this, but recently a dear graduate sent me a link to her website, and I looked at her prices and I thought, oh. And the reason I did that is because she priced it so low that like it's like dollar store pricing for talent and investment and experience and energy and intuition. And what I saw when I saw her pricing was, oh, I've seen a couple other people price it like this, so that must mean I need to start there. And I don't really think this is ever going to really work, so I'm just going to get a few of these and I'll be okay. And I just got to dip my toe in the water and see how it goes. And I saw a lack of confidence. I saw a lack of valuing herself. I saw a lack of vision. So how do I see all this when I see a low price? When most people are thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna offer a low price so I don't leave anyone out. So I'm not too expensive for anyone. I'm gonna have a low price so that people, like more people will buy from me. Because if it's a lower price, more people will buy. And fear. I don't know what else to charge, so I'm gonna start at the lowest possible rate. And when you price out of fear or lack, you get fear or lack. You get people afraid to book with you because they're not sure if you're good enough because you're charging so little. People aren't having confidence in you because you're not having confidence in yourself. And so, what I want to do is just help you see, like, what do you want to make in a month? What would pay your bills? What would feed you? What would pay your rent? What would pay back any kind of debt you have for learning what you needed to learn in order to be in business? Like, what about taxes? What about retirement? Like, how much do you need to make to support yourself? Not starving artist style, but like actual human being with money style. And then how many of these products or services can you offer in a month comfortably, right? And how much time do you need to market and do your bookkeeping and do the other things, right? Like there's a limit to your time, right? So figure that out and then say, how much do I need to charge in order to live? And there you go. It's going to be a lot higher than where you started. And I'll tell you, I started this whole like creative psychic world as a freelancer. I was like on the menu of a wellness center. And so I remember the first reading they booked for me was an hour-long reading. And the center charged $125. And you guys, I lost it. I got sicker than I've ever got in my entire life. I remember I was trying to take a shower before I had to leave, and I couldn't even lift my leg out of the shower. I had to pick my leg up and put it back down on the ground. I was so sick. I showed up and I was like, how could anyone spend so much money to talk to me? How is this possible? And of course, I would have gotten like $70 from that, but still, if I had to price that myself, $25. That's it. $25. That's great. Right. But also, I had another job and I didn't need to support myself off of that. But I never would be able to unless I learned that you have to charge money for what you do. And so I ended up not actually charging this woman who I showed up so sick for because I couldn't even be in the same room with that kind of an opportunity because I was so disbelieving of it and so feeling unworthy of it. But eventually it came around, long time from that. And I just learned that, you know what? Look around you. People have jobs, people make money, people exchange money for goods and services all the time. You do it, you pay people for things. It's okay. It is okay to make a good living doing exactly what you want to do. And you can definitely start on the lower end, but you got to make sure all this list is covered or you're never going to be able to do it. It's unsustainable. So think about that when you go and price your stuff.
So I have something about that, and you kind of already said it, but I really want everyone to hear. I wrote this down. You are worthy of earning a good living, doing exactly what you want to do. Period. You are worthy of that. And when we're afraid of raising our prices, and we all come up against our upper limits, right? But when we like whatever it is I want it because it's for me. I am worthy of it. So if I'm coming up against an edge, I'm coming up against my own beliefs about my worthiness. So my job is to relax into the remembering of the truth of me. Just I'm freaking awesome and I am worthy and deserving of earning an incredible living doing exactly what I want to do. And if you have a yeah but to that, relax. You are worthy of earning a really good living doing exactly what you want to do. No yeah buts.
Yeah, and you need to lead with confidence. You need to have the confidence, and then other people will have the confidence in you. And it's okay if it's not 100% confidence. It's okay if you're a little wavering, but you have to put yourself out there in a way that you know what you're doing, or at least enjoying what you're doing, right? I
I've told
mean,
you. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Let's say I've told you guys about where I really learned that lesson was I have a former client. She's kind of, well, doesn't matter, but I was working with her in a certain capacity, but not charging what at the time I felt worthy of receiving. And she hired somebody else to do exactly the same thing, not even as well as I do it, for like 6 times what I was charging her. And her results, they're good. Her results are good. But it was just the kick in the pants I needed to be like, raise your freaking rates, Carrie. Like, you're doing an amazing job. And this person who you're working with wants to pay more. Like that's what she wants to pay more. So it was a huge lesson for me. So it is not whatever it is for you, whether you're a painter and you're selling your art for $100 a canvas instead of $100,000 a canvas. Like, it's a worthiness thing. Somebody else paintings are not as good as yours and they're getting a lot more for them. And it's because they feel worthy of receiving it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first like talk that I ever gave that was paid. Now you can imagine me like this and looking down at my notes, talking about being a medium. People paid to be in this room with me. Now I had enough confidence to say that I would do it. I had enough confidence to show up. I had enough confidence to make notes because that was something that I knew how to do. I knew myself and my experience, and I knew how to be a medium, and I knew that I liked talking about it. So those were all the things in my favor. I knew what I knew, right? And I had a center that I could show up to, right? So those are all the things that I had to build my confidence. Now, what I didn't have was public speaking confidence. And so I was looking like this down at my notes the whole time. People even had to tell me, like, look up. Don't worry about your notes. Like, people wanted me to engage with them. But that was a skill that I learned. It's not a skill that I had. And so also know that if you're in a creative business, a lot of us think we're just artists or we don't know how to do that. We can't do that. Going back to this show, Project Makeover, at least 2 of the businesses that he's been to so far, and there's only been like 13, they didn't bake anything from scratch because they didn't know how. They baked from like store-bought mixes in a bakery. They started a bakery. That's hard. They're paying employees. That's difficult to figure out. They did this incredible thing. And yet they didn't have enough confidence to learn how to bake a cake from scratch. So we get into all kind of weird mindset things, all of us, me included. But you can learn new things, and you will learn new things whether you want to or not if you're in business for yourself, because it's just a daily thing. So just like me, I learned how to be comfortable speaking to people. I learned how to charge more for what I do. I learned how to be comfortable doing all kinds of things technology wise. And so you have what you bring to the equation, and you're going to learn a lot more as you go. So you don't have to be confident in everything yet. You just have to be confident in what you bring. And then that will grow over time as you keep showing up to stuff.
That, yeah, amen. Check.
Nice. Okay. Let's talk about making offers.
Speaking of confidence, like,
Yeah.
making offers. You guys, this is such a big one. I work with a lot of people who are like, I'm marketing, I'm doing this, I'm posting about this, I made a video about that, I did it. And I'm like, how many times did you ask people to buy? Or how many times did you ask people to join your email list? How many times? Like, oh, well, I put the link on my page. Like, okay, you go. But yes.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to share with you first is like, and by the way, guys, this is all stuff I had to learn too. Like, this is not any of us picking on you. This is just like, you just have to go through this stuff. You know, there's going to be one in a million who is like a totally natural business person, no problem. Everything works out. Their beliefs are in place to succeed. But most of us, we are in business to grow ourselves, not just to make money, but to like become better, well-rounded, more confident people. And that's really what happens as you go through this journey. So it's naturally going to be a learning process. But about making offers, so I'm not all about the rules, but a lot of the times you have to like go through the rules of business until you find an alignment with just being worthy enough to receive on your own. But that sometimes takes time. So 1% of people who see your call to action to buy will buy from you usually. Online, anyway. 1%, one out of every 100 people who see your offer, whether that's like for a reading, for a painting, it's your product listing on Etsy or your own website, 1 out of 100 people will buy from you. That means a lot of people need to see your stuff in order for you to make a good living. Now, it's a higher percentage if people know you for a long time, which is why engaging your current network is really important, right? The number can go up a little bit in percentage of conversion, but if it's just the masses searching on a search engine and finding your stuff, about 1 in 100 will buy from you. And that means it has to be clear what they're going to get. It has to be clear what it costs. It has to be clear that you can deliver it. No broken links, right? Like no broken images. It's got to be right. And it also means you need to engage a lot with the world and tell them that you have something to offer to get them to even see that page, right? So this is the part that I really love, though, because marketing is sharing. Marketing is fun. Marketing is like you getting to talk about what lights you up, or you getting to show what lights you up if you're more visual. Like put beautiful stuff out there on Instagram, show off your products and services, or like have beautiful images or pictures or quotes or whatever, but underneath that, hey guys, this is what I have today. Check this out, or this is relevant to this, and here's my link. Like, you get to share what lights you up about what you do and make offers. Make offers often. Think about Moo whenever you're like, why aren't I getting any sales? Have I mooed lately? Right? Get those offers out there all the time and do it in a way that is fun. Shake it up, be creative about it, give some helpful content, but don't just give helpful content and then never talk about your actual money making thing. Because don't forget, you have a business. It's okay for you to sell things. Don't forget that.
I wrote down marketing is sharing. Let's remember that. It's just sharing. It's not convincing. Marketing is not selling. I think that's really important. People are like, I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell. Well, cool thing is you don't have to. Well, you do have to sell, but not in your marketing. In your marketing, you're just sharing. And share what lights you up about what you do. So one of the things that is really happening, especially in online marketing, is like we used to tell people, you have to create the know, like, and trust factor. But the marketplace is crazy crowded, and you are a vibrational being. Your energy matters. And so when you share what lights you up about what you do, you're in an incredibly attractive place. And so when you get excited about your work, you guys, I watched the shot put in the World Championships last night. And I don't know if any of you watched this, but there was one shot putter that every time, I lied, it was a discus. But either way, every time she had a good throw, she was smiling and dancing and like lighting up, bouncing around in there. And it was like, I actually don't know if she won the gold medal. I hope she did. But either way, like, I wanted to root for her. I want what she has. She kind of even made me want to throw the discus. Like, okay, like that looks amazing. And that's what happens. You are attractive when you are in that zone of sharing what you love. But the reason I'm saying this is because right now, know, like, and trust almost isn't enough. Like, people need to love you. They need to feel you. They need to like not know why they're drawn to coming at you. And all of that comes through when you're not in your marketing markerson-ness, but you're just sharing what you love about what you do. I created this thing and it was amazing created. I picked these colors because blah, 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 whatever. Share, share, share. And then make an offer. If you want it, it's available for just $1 million, for a small investment of $1 million or whatever is true.
Yeah. And I'm going to let you guys know about our offer, because you guys, I just added to our certification program and I'm so excited about it. So if you've ever thought about becoming a certified intuitive artist, where we teach you how to master the language of your intuition to help your clients, to help yourself and everybody get clarity, but also how to coach with people, how to set up sessions, how to teach, how to get yourself out there in the world. Well, we just added a whole new level, which includes like, how do you use your intuitive art with illustration, graphic design, painting, and we really get into the more art side of intuitive art and not just the process side of it. And so it's a really great addition. And it's been a few years since I've recorded it, which is still amazing as it is, but I'm redoing it right now and I'm getting rid of the light and the full, and I'm making one certification. So if you've been wanting to join, you've especially been eyeing the light version, which is less expensive than the full. The full includes the whole business thing, the whole shebang. But if you just want to master intuitive art and teach and do sessions with people, then you might want to scoop that up because it's going away very soon. So if you want to get in at a lower investment, you can always upgrade later on. Go and get the light version now because it is disappearing. And it's amazing. It's very amazing. We have lots and lots of graduates who just take light and do really, really well. So intuitiveart.com/certification to learn more and get $1,000 off coupon.
Hot damn.
Yeah, save yourself some money.
I mean, you guys know I absolutely love this, but I am very excited about what is like, even in the, just when I said I'm very excited about it, I felt like the yawn bubbling up inside of me. So hold on. You guys know I yawn when I'm resonating truth, when like amazingness is happening. I am so excited about this next level intuitive art certification. So Rachel and I started saying like, what are we excited about? But here's why I'm excited about it is because it is what the certification has been wanting to do for a long time, right? It's like all of us, we have going back to the farm, right? There's the big dream, and then there's what we allow ourselves to create. And I just feel so strongly that like what is happening right now inside Intuitive Art Academy is what it has always wanted to grow into and to be. And so, yeah, join now with the light. Oh, I'm going to yawn again.
Well, I'll just say while Carrie's saying, you do get this extra stuff with light. You do get this extra course with light. So it's included there.
So do it. If you've been thinking about it, do it. As someone who has done it, when you make a choice and you're in alignment, when you make a choice because it feels good, it's never a wrong choice, ever. So if it feels good, do it.
Yeah. And part of the reason that I'm so excited about this is because I'm an artist and I went through all of this. You know, I wasn't always I wasn't always like a psychic first, right? I was an artist first for a long time. I've showed art, I've illustrated books, book covers, my own books. What else have I done? Oh, I used to show my artwork in galleries. I've sold lots of paintings. I had an Etsy art store. So I'm very familiar with all this stuff. And it's really, really, really fun for me to include that in the certification. And that's only the beginning. Like Carrie's kind of alluding to, like this is going to be a big part of what we offer because I just see so many beautiful, amazing, talented, incredible artists who are just like, I put my stuff on my webpage and it's not selling. So what do I do? You know, and what that could possibly do is also dampen your enthusiasm for your art. And that's the last thing that's going to help you. So in an effort of keeping your enthusiasm high and your own genius loud, like all it takes is a couple tweaks to get you into the zone where people are like, yes, please, can I have that? I'll be on your waiting list. Like, I want you to make me something. And it's really like the confidence is such a big part of it, but
no, the confidence is a huge part of it. That has been like, as you've been talking, I've been like, yes, 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 yes. The confidence is everything. It's everything. And I feel like there's somebody watching who is not sure if they can actually call themselves an artist. Like they want to be an artist. They want to make a living from their creativity. There's probably something that's a little bit like high performing, like achiever about you, which is why maybe you're having a hard time allowing yourself to just be an artist, to be a creative. I think I would have shied away from the word artist, but like creative, I can totally get behind. I have my own blocks with like, I feel like an artist must use paints
Mhm.
or clay or like I am a masterful artist. Give me a group of people, I can create magic. But like give me some felt and I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So anyways, all this to be said is this is where Intuitive Art Academy is such a beautiful place for all of those things to come together, for you to get the confidence in the incredible creative materials, creative things that you're creating. That sounds redundant. And how to have the confidence to market boldly.
Yeah. And speaking of marketing boldly, I have something on my list here. So I have make offers often, but I also have show your genius, and I wrote your POV. This is so important because you can't be a happy artist if what you're making came from someone else's mind, right? A lot of times, and I'm not trying to say anyone's stealing anything, but some people are, but you're not. A lot of people, though, they think, what's selling right now? What's hot right now? What are people willing to buy right now? And they mold their offering to match that. But first of all, for you to be happy, for you to get the joy of expression, that's not going to work. And for you to make your own place in the market, that's not going to work. And for you to authentically attract people who are resonant to you, that's not going to work. So what's your point of view? What way do you paint naturally? What way do you write naturally? What way do you want to offer this service? What's your stamp? And this is not something that can be overthought. This is your natural way of doing things. So if I were looking for my style, I would just sit down and do a lot of that one thing to see, oh, look at the similarities in what I'm doing. I would write a whole bunch of stories, or I would make a whole bunch of cards, or I would do a whole bunch of sessions and see what I end up talking about. This really comes down to practice if you don't know what your style or point of view is. But then once you can identify it, and you can even ask friends. A lot of times your friends can pick up on your style of doing things in a little bit of an easier way, but that can't be your final judgment. You can't let someone else tell you who you are and just go with it without really digging in here. Um, but once you have that thread, once you know what lights you up, what your style is, what your favorite colors are, all that kind of stuff, that's where you lean into it. That's where you start talking more about it. That's where you create your social media from it. Like you're building your own building, your own beach, as Jim Self would say, so that when people are coming by and they like what they see, they come to you. And it's so important to have your own, and this is not an unnatural thing. You're not building something so people will come. You're building out yourself so people can see you, and the people who want to engage with you can come over, right? Introvert friendly stuff here. I don't want people randomly stopping by that don't want me. Think about how awful that would be, right? You have to be this blank slate for anyone who walks in because what you're showing them doesn't really reflect you. So you don't know who's coming in. You could not like them. You don't want to spend time with them. That's a terrible way to go. You want to build out yourself so people can see you, your point of view, your style. So when they ask you for something, you're confident that you can deliver something they'll like. So do it your way. Do it your way. That's going to lead to a lot more relaxation, what you're doing, and a lot more success.
And eventually a lot more confidence. I think initially it can be a little scary to do things your way. It can be right when we're looking in the realm of, as you're talking, Rachel, I'm thinking about like one of the ways that I am a creative right now. Well, I'm creative in the ways that I offer my services all over the place. I can't not be. But the thing that I'm thinking about right now is the coaching of my cross country team. And I've been doing this for a really long time. And I would say, like, if I had asked friends from the outside, like, what do you see? Maybe they would have seen this sooner had I asked, right? But they would have said, oh, you're super encouraging. You build relationships between the athletes. You like, it is clear that I like have a vague idea of what I'm doing when it comes to like training principles. But if you watch me with my athletes, you'll know, like, I know them deeply and personally. I am an encourager. I am sort of a hard line, you are capable of more than you think kind of a person. But as you were talking, and I was like, what is my thing? What is my thing about that? And I came to this conclusion is like, oh, my thing is like, why would someone want to join my team? Or like, what's my stamp is I like 100% believe that becoming, growing as a person makes you a faster runner. That's maybe revolutionary, maybe, right? That's like, but maybe had I asked around, people would say, yeah, you do all that personal development stuff with your team. That's what makes them great. Like, it just, anyways, all that to say is it's interesting finding your own stamp when you're in the sea of wanting to make incredible things, right? And wanting to make things that sell can be hard. So relax and trust yourself. And like Rachel said, make a lot of it. Spend some time in it until you can see, oh, this is my unique stamp.
Yeah. And even if you're someone like me who, like, I love doing a lot of different things and I just keep going, I just keep adding them on. And so sometimes I would think like how could I be consistent if I like to do so many different things? But and we've shared this, like, Carrie and I are in a mastermind group together. We had one participant who was always asking this question, right? But like, so these are all the things I do, right? There's more. There's an infinite number of activities and hobbies and professions and, right, all the kinds of things that I love to do and I love to talk about. But what's in the middle? That's me. So you are the thing. If you're like me and you just have all these satellite things of like what you love to do, there's still you in the middle. That's the stamp. That's the thing you build out. That is what you share. You share you. And you don't have to share everything. But I'm just saying, like, regardless of what subject matter you are into, and regardless of what kind of business you have, you always have yourself. And that's where your point of view comes from anyway. So whether you share about one thing or a million things, it's still you, and it's still possible to have a point of view.
And it's why people want to buy things. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm thinking about, what is written on the side of the almond milk, right? Like, it's like there's a story there. There's like a cute little thing. It's like I can feel the personality of the company that is selling me my almond milk. I'm feeling into the essence of that. Or like, have you ever purchased jewelry and then someone will be like, oh my God, I love that. And you say, oh yeah, I got it from this woman who makes them by hand and says a little prayer over each of the stones. And right, like, or I got it from this incredible lady who I met at an outdoor market, and she has 12 kids and she's doing amazing things in the world, right? Like, it's her. It's a beautiful thing, but it's her that I'm buying. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have this thing, do what you want. We've already talked about it, but this is part of it. So don't arbitrarily limit yourself. If you are curious or excited about a different thing, like, you can have a sustainable, consistent business and also be free to travel your path of least resistance, which is information from your higher self, pointing you in the direction of the manifestations that you're looking for, of the person you're wanting to become. So you can do all of that and still make money.
Because you're worthy of it.
Mm-hmm.
And probably because you've become a certified intuitive artist. So I feel like, Rachel, we haven't talked a ton. So one, I just want you guys to hear these conversations that Rachel and I have. We flipping love them. They are a highlight for us. They're joyful. They're easy. We know oftentimes we're serving you, but we selfishly do them for ourselves, right? Like we do them just to hang out with each other and have, I love talking about things that matter. And this is stuff that matters. And so I'm in. And this is marketing. You guys are getting to know us, to love us, and to trust us. But let's talk a little bit about, so it's easy for me to say, and the way how we are, we kind of figure like you already know us. It's easy to say like, if it feels right, if you're getting a little nudge, it's for you. But let's talk specifically about, we said, okay, you got to be clear in your messaging. If you go to the sales page, it'll be clear in your messaging. But like, who is this for? Who should be like raising their hand and being like, okay, they always talk about this thing they have. Why? Yeah, who's it for?
Let me tell you. Okay, so intuitive art is a way to have a conversation with your higher self, with your intuition. And that is for everyone. And intuitive art's tagline, what it is, what it wants to say to the world, is the clarity to know your truth and the confidence to live it. So if you feel like you need more clarity on who you are, on how you can live your best life, and you want confidence to then go out and do it, this is for you. You're obviously listening to us already, so you're here wanting to know about a creative business and how to succeed. So you've already checked all the boxes of, is this going to be for me? So right now it's more just like, are you ready to get that clarity? Are you ready to learn the skills to do this in the world and to make money, to support yourself? I had to make that decision too. I had to decide I'm ready to see. For me, it was if I could do this full time. And I could because I learned how, right? I didn't know how before I made the decision, but I thought, I would really like to support. I'd really like to not have a job where I have to report to someone else anymore. I would really like to do this on my own. Can I do it? Well, let me try at least. Let me try and learn what I need to learn in order to do it. And here I am. And that's exactly what I teach you how to do too. So if you're willing to put the time in for yourself, to learn about yourself, to learn how to master the technique of intuitive art so you can use it with yourself and with your clients. You can learn how to use it in so many different creative ways to add value to professions that haven't seen revolution in a really long time. Then yeah, come join us. We're ready for you.
I want to give my little testimonial, which is I became a certified intuitive artist. I discovered how much I love using this technique with clients, but I didn't become a certified intuitive artist to use the technique with clients. Like that was secondary to me. I chose to become a certified intuitive artist because I wanted to go deeper, right? Because I wanted to get better at using intuitive art. I took the free class. I freaking loved it. It provided a ton of value in my life. So I chose to become a certified intuitive artist because I just wanted to be better at it. I wanted to go deeper. I wanted to know more. I was just really starting to learn and trust my intuitiveness. And if it wasn't for intuitive art, my life would be so different. Like I'm thinking about a revenue stream that regularly pays me $5,000 a month. that I would not be here if it weren't for a drawing that I did. I'm thinking about the house that I'm currently living in and loving and so grateful for, that I wouldn't be living in if I didn't do a drawing and trust what I saw on that page. Like, I have intuitive art to thank. I mean, I have my higher self to thank, but having this tool has given me the clarity and the confidence over and over and over again. And that's really freaking cool. And I'm super grateful for it. And I want everybody else who's looking for those things to have it. So, Rachel, tell the people where to go.
Okay, so you can go to intuitiveart.com/certification, and you will put your name and email into that page, and it will give you a tour of the program. It will give you $1,000 off. The light program too. So now is the best time to get in if you want to start at a lower payment, if you want to start at a lower investment, get in, and then you can always decide to upgrade later on. But the light version is going away soon. So if you want to start light, then you got to get in very soon. I will put the link in the chat.
Thank you for that. As Rachel's talking, I don't know how you guys are feeling. So we started with what we're excited about. We're talking about creating a business or creative business. What did we call it? We said how to succeed in a creative business. And I hope you guys are hearing all businesses are creative, whether you're making cupcakes or you are an accountant, right? There is a creative component to every business. Intuitive art is so helpful. It is how intuitive art can add to what you're already doing. I promise. It is, gosh, a depth and I saw this thing. This is the best, like, depth is the right word, and like saturation of color to what you're already doing. Like, you know how this is, okay, I hope this makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but somebody here is going to get this analogy. I used to watch this show, and it was like dressing people. It was like people who dress badly, and they would kidnap them and take them and like dress them, teach them how to dress themselves. And I really wanted to be on that show. And, but one of the things I learned from that show was like, man, go bold, pick a saturation of color. Don't pick the like weak ass version of it. Like pick the like bolder, deeper version of it. And I feel like that's what intuitive art can add. Being a certified intuitive artist, having this depth of knowledge, that's what this will do to whatever business you want to create.
You know what's so funny? Speaking of that, it's a process, right? Even if you don't feel like, yeah, I'm ready to do that right now, be saturated, like it's one little step at a time. It's like, okay, I'm signing up and I'm going to do the thing. And then I'm going to see what service or, product I want to create and offer. And then, because let me tell you, you know how I wear these now, which is what your story reminded me of. Like, yes, I have my big green glasses and everyone comments on them. And they were only $8, which is also really cool. But the first time I decided to buy green frames, I remember, like, I've always loved green. I've always had a lot of style, even if I don't show it. I went to fashion school. I've always been interested in that. But I really struggled with confidence in my early 20s, late teens. I was, like I've told you guys, clinically depressed. I had a tooth hanging from my mouth. Like I was doing the best with where I was, right? But I had to go get new glasses, and I really liked these green frames. They were so amazing. They were like tortoise. But I thought, those are so bold. I'm going to bring so much attention to myself. How could I possibly wear these? But I bought them anyway. And I remember the first day I went to work, which I was only a nanny, so like 3 people were going to see me. I was so scared to wear them to work because I was like, it's different, like, who are they going to think I am? Like, I'm not this person, all of the thoughts. And anyway, they were just like, wow, I love your glasses. And I remember a couple months later, I had one new tank top that I bought from Pacific Sunwear, Pacific, something like that.
Haxon.
Accent, yeah, it was like a kind of like a trendy California store in Connecticut. So we never really had that style before. And just like my regular old jeans. And I wore that tank top, which was just a tank top. And I got the same thing of like, wow, you're so stylish. And I just thought, what is happening here? Like, it was that one little decision that led to another little decision. And those little decisions kept on adding up. And that's how you become more comfortable with yourself. That's how you gain more confidence. It's like the tiny little decisions string together. And then 20 years later, you're like, wow, who was that person who was afraid to buy green glasses? Now I buy really big green glasses.
And giant green furry coats.
Giant green furry coats. Yeah, like not afraid anymore. But there was definitely a time where every little new thing was terrifying.
I think that can be so validating. So this is a slightly different conversation, but worth having. I am dealing with that sometimes with my kids who are a little bit anxious and recognize like they are self-aware and know like I'm having anxiety. I'm in this worry loop. And I'll remind them like, okay, you can keep worrying about this. You can kind of live in this self-doubt, in this story that you keep telling yourself, or you can remember that every time you felt like this in the past, it's worked out really well. Every time you felt like this in the past, it's been a waste of energy, right? It's been like things work out fine and you remember that you didn't need to worry. And that's sort of the same thing we're getting here with the glasses. Like she put on glasses and people were like, oh, that's great. There's a little bit worried, but enough of I want to, right? That of course it's for you if you want to. That tank top, I don't know, is it too much? Is it too, are people, am I going to look like a poser? Am I right? Like all the things, but enough of a want to that she put it on and wore it out in the world, a little bit scary. And of course, oh my gosh, that suits you. That looks amazing. And so I think that's important when we're making decisions, any decision, right? Of course, if it's new, if it's different, if it feels a little bit outside of your comfort zone, you're going to have that worry. But enough of a want to, like it just has to be a little tiny bit more of a want to. Do it. You won't regret it.
I love that. Yeah. What do you want to do? I want to own a farm, guys. I want to own a farm. So that's what I'm going to do. And, there's this one other thing that I get all the time of like, but I've never finished anything I've bought before. I have all these unfinished courses. I should go finish those first. And no, you start over every moment. You are a new version of yourself every moment, and you are worthy enough to use the information that you're getting right now from your higher self, from your intuition. I can't tell you how many unfinished things I have going on right now. In fact, I will show you just one genre of things I have. Page right here is all unfinished books that I have right now. But do you think it's going to stop me from starting another one? No, because everything gets finished in its own time if it's worthy of being finished. So use the information that you're getting right now. Your truth only exists in the moment. And just jump off from there because, the first coach I actually ever hired, I ended up not vibing with. I spent a lot of money on it. And you know what, though? I got exactly what I needed out of it. And even though I only used her for a few months and I paid her for a whole year, it's foundational skills I still use today. Like totally worth it, totally worth more than what I paid for it. So wherever you are is the right time to do whatever your higher self is guiding you to do.
Yeah. Oh, Rachel there. I was like, you froze on my screen, but now you're back.
But I can't hear you.
Oh, well, your sound went funny for me. Can you hear me now?
anyway. So I'll let Carrie figure that out. But guys, you can do this. You can have a creative business. You can succeed in it. You will figure it out. You will learn the skills that will help you grow. You will have an open mindset so you can see where to improve and where to be more of yourself. It's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be worth it. And yeah, good luck. Congratulations, all the things. And we will see you next week, and maybe we'll see you in the certification. All right. We love you. Bye.